All right, welcome back to Lag Demon Programming. I'm Bill Westlake, and this is our compiler design course. And in this course, what we're working towards, is building up a command line tool for a dungeon game. And we've done a little bit of work towards that, building up some expressions, and we've got a quit command that lets us get out of the game. So before we continue, however, we're going to do a little reorganizing of the project here. I'm going to show you how I'm doing that and why I'm doing it, because I want to separate things out into different libraries. This way we can have more than one compiler in our game, and we can reference things more easily. And so we've got our Lexer parser and our main and our AST thing here all in this source directory. And I really don't want to put the packages under that. I don't want to create a long tree. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this folder source here. I'm going to rename this to command line. And in here in this cmakelist text file, I'm going to change this from add executable to add library, and it's going to be called command line. And we're going to get rid of this main and main CPP because now it's not called main, it's called command line. And it receives these pieces here, and we've already got our other stuff set up in here. So, and actually, we probably want to add in that ast.h in here as well as a dependency. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is take this main.cpp. Well, actually, I'm going to go up here to my out to my top level directory area here, and I'm going to add a new folder, and I'm going to call this we'll go ahead and call it, I think I called it dungeon game. I think I'm just going to call it game, and I'm going to move main.cpp over into game. Now we've got this cmakelist text here. This is no longer source. This is going to be command line. And we have to add another subdirectory. I have to add our game subdirectory here. So we'll call this add subdirectory game. And now we're going to need a cmakelists .text file here in game. So we'll just create a new file, make lists. Make sure I spelled that right. I didn't. I got a typo there. Make lists .text. Okay. So, and this one is going to be an executable. So we're going to add executable, and we'll just call it, I don't know. We can call this executable dungeon, I guess. And it's going to need some libraries, and right now that library is called command line, and we have to go update this cmakelist text here, or do we? No, we got command line there. Good. This cmakelist text here, we're adding these subdirectories. We're going to take this find bison, find flex, and set these compiler flags and move them up to our top level cmakelists text file, not in this one. Our top level cmakelists here before these. Good. And now that will, what it found about those and the settings it made and everything will get pushed down to both of these. I didn't do that before because we were only working in the one directory, but now I'm not sure. Yeah, I think we're going to have to have this also. Let me double check what I got over here. Nope, but we need we do need our target link libraries, and so we put that right down here, but in this top level. Let me make sure I'm in, that's in that. Oh yes, in the game. All right. This one in our game directory, yes. This one here. We need to add this, and I'll explain this. This target link libraries. We need to have our that executable command line. Why did this is the game? Oh, dungeon. Yeah, we don't want this in here. We want main.cpp in here. Sorry, so I was getting confused. For the target link libraries, we need our target is dungeon, and we're going to add. Do I want to add those? We need to add our command line. And you know what? I'm going to change this. I'm not going to call this dungeon. I'm going to call it game. And we'll change this down here to game. And we're going to add command line into there. This top level one now adds both game and command line. Okay, so it's going to go into here. It's going to be able to compile main.cpp, and I think maybe we do need. We don't need that. We don't need that. We might need these include directories. Oh, I think they're here. Let me see what I have. Nope, I don't have them in there. This one I do, yeah. Okay. Okay, now this should be good. Now, having done that, we have our build directory. I'm just going to remove that whole build directory thing there, and we're going to recreate it. I'm going to go make dir build cd build, and then we're just going to type cmake ... and it looks like it all worked, and we do make, and we got a problem. Parser file lexer.l command line parser.h. Probably because of something in here. Cmake current binary dir parser.h. parser.hpp. And what's it saying? It can't find parser.h. Okay, that's a bit odd. This should be HPP. Okay. Maybe I fixed that before. We can't find AST. Oh, that's right. Okay, and then also we don't have it here, but in our lexer or our parser file, up here in our include. So this is now in. This is in this. It's in this folder. Why would it not be able to find AST.h? Oh, main can't find it. Ah, here is where we need to do this. So we need to go ... slant command line slant AST.h here. And let's see what happens now. And it built. Okay, so that bit of reorganization is done. So the reason I did this, let me close up this build here. I'm going to close them all up so we can see. I put command line and game up here at the top because I want to create various modules, and having them all under source was kind of annoying. And this leaves them all up at the top level, and it only has one level down from here for adding other things in. In fact, we're going to add something in right now, and also separating main out from this and have this be the executable and this be a library. If we go into build here and look, here's under build, here's command line. We come down here and we will see that there is a file lib command line.a. So this is the static link library that it created, that the build system created for our command line. And down here under game, this game is an executable file that, as linked, has that linked into it. So that's all handled for us very nicely with CMake. And you can see how really easy this is. Let's take a look at those. CMake list.txt at the top. We set up a version. We set up our project. I called it main. You know what? We could call it something else here. Project dungeon crawl. How's that? And there's other things we can do too with having a version variable and give our libraries version numbers and so forth. But when we do these find package, the CMake system if it finds the package, it sets variables associated with that package so that we can access it. For instance, this Bison main parser compile flags that we set here is also part of that. So it's all part of that build system. And I wonder why that is up here. Main parser compile flags. Command line is where our main. I might have something a little disorganized here. This is under build. I don't want that. Command line. CMake lists. This is where main parser is. Main scanner. Probably want to move that because this is associated with the main parser. So if we go down here to command line and set this here, let's do a make real quick and make sure. Do a make clean. Make. Yep, that's all working. So this where it says main parser here, this is a thing that it will look for. It's based on this value here, main parser. So it's Bison main parser, this name, compile flags T for the Bison parser. And off the top of my head, I don't remember what T means, but I'll look that up and I'll let you know. I can't remember what that means. Well, I'll look it up right now. Let's see. One second. Bison flags T. Oh, it enables traces. Okay. I think. Parse debug. The T flag. Oh, it makes it POSIX YAC compliant. Okay, POSIX YAC compliance is the T option for that T. So it'll put the -T in when it calls that. So enough of that. Let's close. Oops, let's close all. So we can take a look at here at our build area. Okay, so now we've done the reorganization. Let me double check the time here because we got a couple more things to do. We're only 15 minutes in. Okay. So we want to add, I want to be able to add more than one compiler into this game because, so let me describe what I'm thinking here, the direction that we're going to go. I want to have, we've already got a command line parser. I want to have a language that's not just a command line language, but one that we can load in that will build up the dungeon. It'll build all the rooms, it'll build all the items, it'll put everything in place, it'll build up the structure from this language. I also want to have a language that lets us program our dungeon in a kind of domain-specific language, one meant specifically for the dungeon. So we're going to have at least 3 languages in this game, and that means we're going to have 3 compilers compiled into the same program. What's the problem with that? Well, the problem with that is the names of these functions and variables that it creates. You can't have them double defined. You can't have 2 definitions of the same function or variable at the same time. So we have to be able to change the names of these. So let's start with the Lexer, and that's really a simple one. We're going to go right here. Right before, I like to put it right before the no YY wrap, and we go percent option prefix equals quote, and I'm going to call it CMD for the command line. So what's going to happen now, if we were to compile this now, it's not going to compile, and in fact I'll show you that. We'll do it right here. This we can't really doesn't look like. View, reset, zoom in, zoom out, editor, font. Yeah. We can't zoom this command line thing down here, so I might have to do it in the other ones. But if we do a build now, we find we get errors. And what errors do we get? Well, there's no reference to YYLex, YYScan, YY switch to buffer. All these things that we did are now invalid, and that's because this is now called command YYLval and command LVal, command LVal, and is that the only uses? And we're going to have to do something with our little template function here. Oh yeah, and then YYLex is now command lex. And then we have another problem over in parser.y. So let me bring that up. One sec. So down here, right after this, actually I'm going to put several things in here, but the most important one, and I'll do that right now, is we're going to go pound or percent define API dot prefix command. So this is going to change the names of the name of our parser, and I don't think we have to worry about it. Oh yeah, we do. So where it says YY parse, this is now command parse, and YY delete buffer is now command delete buffer. And we have to remember these. YY buffer state, I believe, I'm not sure if that is or not. Command delete buffer. Oh, maybe command delete buffer isn't one of the changes. Where is that? Command delete buffer. Maybe it's still YY delete buffer. See, sometimes it may take a couple iterations here to find everything. YY scan string. So these are definitely, we got to go, no, that's up here. So this YY scan string is now command scan string, and a YY scan, YY switch to buffer is now command switch to buffer. And oh, this is command delete buffer, and then we got to change them down below, and it's the same, I believe, with the scan buffer, but I'm not sure we're using that. Yeah, so now we're missing them down at the bottom down here. I forgot. You got to change them in both places. So this is YY switch to buffer. Now I'm going to go take a look at my reference so that I don't keep messing this up. Command YY scan buffer doesn't change. Command, yeah. CMD scan string. Let's see if that did it. It did. Okay, so it worked. So we've changed the names of these functions so they don't collide when we link together with other programs, and we probably should change this to command scan buffer as well. I think I may not have changed it before, yeah. So that's good. We're just not using that right now, but we probably will, at least in another module. So, and it'll be named differently in that other module, and this will keep that collision from happening of it, you know, having two things defined with the same name. So, as much of this stuff is sitting out in like a global namespace, and there may be other ways that can be done in here. I'm not sure. We also have this YY error function. I don't. Maybe let me double check that. I've still got it called YY error over here. Let me see if I do. That seemed to like that. Okay. So yeah. So now we can fire it up and try it. So it's now in dot slant game is the main function, and it's called game, and we did it in. And so here's our, you know what, let's do this from this other terminal. See if I'm in the right directory here, and I am not. And I'll scroll this up in a second. We'll just go right into game. And then we'll make this bigger so we can see it. And so it's just dot slant game. And here it is, welcome to Dungeon Crawl 2. And I believe the only command we have right now is quit. But we can still do like our functions, like 2 + 3 is 5, and 4 - 5 is -1, and so forth, and quit. So it's working. And we've got it reorganized. And so the purpose of that reorganization, like I said, is to be able to create some additional directories in here and make some additional stuff that we can do. And in fact, let me double check the time. I think we're sitting at 23 minutes, so I think that's the end of this video. We got ourselves reorganized. In the next video, we're going to start building a language that will let us build up a dungeon. And at the same time, we're going to create the structure of that dungeon in terms of classes that fit together. And we're going to talk about how we do that. And that structure of classes that build up a dungeon is like an abstract syntax tree. And our parser is going to generate the dungeon from the language that we create. And this is a very domain-specific language. It's just for this game. And we'll reuse some of the capabilities in this first language we started putting together, which was more of a kind of a demonstration of how this stuff works, and start giving you a feel for it. We're going to build a slightly more complex language in the next section. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.